Welcome back once again to my Let's Play of Wonder Girl, the Dragon's Trap. Where I left off last time, I just escaped the burning castle of the Mecha Dragon and arrived safely in the village. May as well give you a quick tour. This initial building here, the church, I don't believe it serves much of a purpose in the remake here. In fact, I get insulted by that pig there. But on the retro screen, you notice you're given a password. This is how you saved your game every time. When you needed to save your game, you made sure you got back to town and you wrote down this password. My game manual, if I recall, I've got it loaded with these passwords. This building right here, it's just a well that leads down to another area. I'll leave that alone for now. This building, though, I'll hop down here and open this up for another heart container, which will be much needed. I don't think I want to go through the next areas with just one heart. Slowly I'll regain my power back to where I was at the start of the game. It's kind of neat how you start the game at full power and you get stripped of it and then brought back, and then you bring yourself back from your weakened state at the very beginning. I know it's been done in plenty of other games, but back then when I was just a little kid, I thought that was pretty neat. Well, may as well buy myself some new equipment. Yeah, I'll grab that shield later when I have just 2 more gold. In the old game, I think you had to equip new items on your own, but the new one here automatically equips them for you. It's kind of nice. I won't be able to enter this building. It's got a locked door. I don't have a key. Any building that has that syringe and hearts icon over it is a medical building where you can heal yourself. Not needed at the moment, so I'll just back out of there. No door on this one, so I won't be able to interact. And there's a building over here, but I can't get over it. And the door over there, it's got a glass window on it. Any door with a glass window is usually a shop. Not always, but usually is. So I guess in the meantime, my only option is head down the well and head into the next area. I'll just throw a few fireballs underwater here, because you know, video games. Welcome to the beach. Fairly simple. A couple crabs that move around and some stationary lizards that just hop up and down. Nice starting zone to ease into things. And one thing you'll notice, that's the range of the fire attack, but if you spam the attack button, you can only go a certain distance, about half as much, because there's a limit of how many fireballs there can be on screen at once, and that limit is 1. Try not to fall into the water, as if you do, you'll end up having to just slog through an underwater area that's a pain in the butt for this kind of character, and you'll eventually just make yourself over to this door and then find your way back on the dry land. It's just an unnecessary detour. Clouds were the bane of my existence back in the day. I was never very good at aiming my arrows for the longest time as a kid. Let's see what's in the shop. Nothing I can afford at the moment. I'll have to come back here later. But now I have a key, which I do believe I'll use on that locked door in town. Go away, Cloud. The color of an enemy actually determines their difficulty. Some enemies are just naturally tougher than others, can take more hits or dish out more damage to you. But the color coding, I think it goes red is the easiest, green is medium, and blue is the hardest. At least in the original game. I saw some video footage of this remake that showed some new kind of endgame type areas that they added with yellow colored enemies, which look like they're stronger than the blue ones even. Yeah, like all these red crabs are dying in one hit, whereas those green ones were taking 1 or 2, and the blue ones were taking 2 or 3. Well, I may as well buy that shield while I'm at it. And we'll unlock the door. Take the bouncy pads and... Nice little windmill drawing there. Just a long, tall, vertical tower back in the day. No, the game didn't give you an arrow indicating which way to go back in the day. You just had to pick a direction and see which one was survivable. If you go to the right, it won't be too terrible at the start. But you'll swiftly run into tougher and tougher enemies. But, as you can see, that blue frog took quite a few hits. I'm gonna go through the door so I don't have to worry about that cloud hounding me the whole time. Plus, I might die too here. Got half a heart left. But this area, you can tell it's much easier. It's got just the red enemies. I love the background art they threw in. Much better than just a purple background there. Much needed heart. As you can see, my projectile blocks their projectiles. Since I don't use a shield, that's my only form of defense against projectiles aside from dodging them. Almost back to full health. Little bastards are lower, throw you for a loop. Of course, I wasn't prepared there for 2 of them in a row at different heights. That cloud I don't have to waste an arrow on. I don't believe I've played this game since some point in the mid-90s. Forgive me if I'm very rusty with it. These 2 wells here are access into the next area, but I'm going to explore a little. As I said, the game has a little bit of a Metroidvania feel to it, where rewards a little bit of exploration with some maybe better equipment available at some shops, or just an extra heart container, perhaps. Like so. Make it much easier to go through the first dungeon with... the first real dungeon outside of the prologue with 3 hearts instead of just 2. That pig archer hurt. He almost took half my health in 1 hit. A little bit of tedious jumping back up. Yeah, I'll go in the first one here. This other one's just a quick exit out. These guys are not enemies. They're just a part of the environment. They're sort of like turrets. These cheap little fellas don't drop any gold. But he dropped a bag of gold, which... you want to grab those. They hold much more than regular coins dropping. I think I'll heal myself, though. Might need it for the upcoming dungeon. Grab the key so I can actually get in through the locked door. And away we go. These frogs can be a little annoying some days if you don't time their jumps properly and they land continually on your head. Mistimed that. Oh. Thank you. Now, there's no visible way to go forward, but what you don't see it, but that ground right in front of me and the dip, that's actually the way through. They hid some things like that in the environment. But there's another thing hidden in the environment here. This little secret area. Like I said, kind of search around and find what you can. That potion that just came out of there, I have 2 of them on top of the screen there, next to my gold value. When you run out of hearts and you die, you actually won't die. A potion will automatically activate and restore a random amount of your health. At least it did back in the day. It would restore anywhere from 1 heart to all hearts. Alright, time for our first real boss after the tutorial boss. Stood up too soon. You can sometimes chain attacks on some of these bosses. Others, it's not so easy. You might only get 1 hit in. Oh, I miscalculated that one. Mouse Girl. And Mouse Girl has a special ability. Maybe I'll grab a new key first. No, there are no keys in there anymore. You can cling to these checker-plated bricks, which makes it so you can access certain special areas, and maybe also just avoid certain enemies if you don't feel like dealing with them. Like so. Let's head in here. Specifically designed for Mouse Girl. Grab some well-deserved loot. And I'll go check what's in the shop. Expensive, but most likely worth it. Let's find out. 23, 32, 65. Definitely was worth my money. I'll head back to town. And with that, I think I'll call it a day for this video. Thank you very much for joining me once again, and let's play of one of my favorite games. One of my future episodes, I think I'll give you a quick little look over at the actual old Sega Master System, the game and its cartridge, and the user's manual. Just take a look through it. I actually still own those from 1989, I think is when this game came out. But I think I'll do that at the very end of this Let's Play. So until then, take care everyone. Bye.